And welcome back to the Saturday show. Of course, I hope you guys had a chance to grab a coffee or tea. I do think it's a bit late for tea or coffee, but I mean, hot chocolate would suffice as well. But of course, for this segment, we do have our lovely Tasnim. But before that, I just wanted to say, if you are interested in sports or just want to learn a bit more, do reach out to Yasmin Hussain. Of course, she has had an incredible journey into, the world of football. It's not easy being a woman, and that too of colour, being a mother and then taking out the time to dedicate, a part of your life to such a thing, of course, is, quite incredible. So, of course, if you are interested, do reach out. We've come to a day and age where, of course, we talk about sports, but a lot of us aren't taking part in it. So if you are interested, do take part. And of course, for the women sitting down, if that's something you want to do on your Saturdays and Sundays, just do it. Who's stopping you? No one's stopping you. So take part. But of course, welcome back, Tasnim. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I feel like our dynamic is so amazing. Like whenever we're on the show, it's just like, it's perfect. The aura is there, everything. It's
Honestly.
always amazing.
Oh, it's finally nice to see you again.
I know.
4 weeks, been a long time.
I know. Who was counting? I know everyone was counting. I know. But of course, so UCAS applications. So I think it's that time of year where I think you need to submit your applications by, was it October?
January.
Yeah, January. And then I think the Oxbridge ones you submit by October. So I think for this segment, what I really wanted to talk about is, of course, what it is that you did for your UCAS applications and what people can do whilst submitting their applications. What can they do differently?
Okay, so the main component of the UCAS application, like the most important thing that is given to the universities, is actually your personal statement. So it's around a 4,000 character document,
Right.
where you outline why you want to apply to a specific course.
Right.
And it is typically better to apply to the same courses for all the universities you're applying to. So with UCAS, you have a choice of up to 5 universities that you can apply for. And it's generally better to apply for a similar course so that your personal statement, which is only one statement for all 5 universities,
It doesn't change too much.
so that it makes sense for the course that you're applying to.
Yes.
And I think the way you do your personal statement should sort of... So there are 2 different ways you could do it. And it depends on which sort of universities you're applying to.
Okay.
So if you're applying to more like academic-focused universities, more research-intensive universities, I would recommend definitely going for a more academic route. So talk about like something that we call supercurriculars,
Okay.
i.e. things that you do outside of the lesson that's related to do with your academic field that you're interested in studying.
Right.
So that could be going to like university lectures, that could be reading a book about the course, about the subject you want to study, that could be like listening to a podcast, things like these. And it is incredibly important to put these in your personal statement and be referencing them throughout. So for example, what I did is I had read... so I applied for PPE, which is Politics, Philosophy and Economics.
Yes.
And I had read, like, let's say, a philosopher, and I talked about why I disagreed with this philosopher.
Oh, arguing with the philosopher, are we?
In this book. And then I brought up another book where I actually agreed with this philosopher more, and then I came to a conclusion at the end of my paragraph. So that's how I would structure it if I were to give any advice to people writing their personal statements.
Now, just because I did it a very long time ago, I'm not that old, guys, I'm just saying I did it a long time ago. When you obviously structuring the statement, like the personal statement, and you're talking like as if like you're doing the 2 arguments, is that how you'd base it in your personal statement? How would you go about that? Like, how would you structure that?
Yeah, so I would do 3 paragraphs,
Right.
An introductory sentence about why you want to study the course,
Right.
And like a conclusion sentence at the end about what you want to do at university, or like you can bring in your extracurriculars, which would be
Right.
non-academic things you do outside of school.
Okay.
Stuff like debate club, football club, stuff like that.
Fine.
And I would keep that to a bare minimum if you're applying to like research academic universities.
Okay, so for an example, like what, Cambridge, Oxford, those.
Yeah,
sorts?
like
Okay,
Russell
fine.
Group, those type
Russell
of
Group, okay, fine.
universities. If you're applying to more of a university that has that less of a focus on research and more of a focus of like your extracurriculars, then you could definitely bring up more of your extracurriculars.
Okay, perfect. Okay, fine. So moving on, what else helped you, I think, during your UCAS applications? What stood out to you, do you think, when you did your applications?
Well, again, I think the way that I did my my personal statement was just a really helpful way, because it allowed me to convey like my academic ability, because I was like grappling with the actual like sources in the books and the podcasts that I will be studying at university.
Yes.
And the fact that I was putting my own opinion in my personal statement like showed to the university that I am someone who has like a unique perspective to provide. So what I would say is, do not treat the personal statement about a personal statement. It's not personal at all. It should be academic. It should be precise and focused on like the subject itself that you're applying for.
How important is it to research the subject you're studying? Like, for instance, you know, when you look at a job description, you are looking at what they're looking for in the job that you're doing, like what they expect of you. So is that sort of similar when you're doing a personal statement?
Yeah, 100%. The only caveat to that is, I think if you're applying for like medicine and these sort of medical field related ones, because in those instances they want to also see that you're someone who cares about their community and someone who does a lot of volunteering, because that's just one of the tenets of being a healthcare practitioner.
Yes.
in the UK.
Okay, fair enough. And so, I mean, are you looking forward to the outcome of the UCAS applications? Are you nervous? Are you scared? Like, what's the feeling around?
I'm excited. I really like all 5 of my options, and I know I'll be happy wherever.
Okay, alhamdulillah. And did you mention the Saturday show that you do the film reviews and everything?
I actually didn't.
How rude.
I know. I had to keep it academic.
Yes. Okay, fine. So to what extent do you think at least a CV is important, keeping a CV sort of hand to hand with all your experiences? What do you think that would benefit you?
Yeah, 100%. That's how I got this job.
She knows the trick.
But even if you're not looking to apply for a job, I think having a CV ready is so important, because you don't know when you'd need to pursue a job.
Yes.
And you don't know what could happen in the future.
Exactly.
And it's always good to have something that you can like let's say you meet someone very interesting at very interesting at a coffee shop or something,
and you have that CV to hand.
And you can have it to hand like on your laptop, and you can show them. You can get a job on the spot.
Easily. Guys, take tips. But I think on that topic as well, I think when I first applied to university, what really helped was having the personal statement to hand as well as the CV. So I would just edit the personal statement all the time and just send it out as a cover letter. It's always helpful. I mean, it is about I think everyone's a bit different, so I kind of made it a bit personal.
Yeah.
But also spoke about the subjects I'd studied, and then I think I did it in a very weird way. But let's just say I got into university, I graduated. Okay, guys, I'm here. But it did help when I did finish university that I used that personal statement and I edited it to become something that I needed at the time. So having that CV as well, I think, is really important, where you've got all your experiences. It doesn't have to be relevant to whatever job you're applying to, because the skills that you do learn whilst you're doing the job is transferable. So for instance, if I worked as, let's say, a shop assistant at, let's say, Oxfam, but why is that relevant to me being a law student? It might not be if you look at it at the longer run or whatever, but it's more the skills that I learned. So for instance, being organised, or like time management and all that sort of stuff, and that is relevant to a law career sort of thing. So I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. I would keep a CV.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And about like the cover letter as well, I think it's really important that you research the job that you're applying for and the company that you're applying for the cover letter. And I think a piece of advice I'd give to people trying to write cover letters is research a company's values, because that's one way you can demonstrate that you've been researching into their company and that you're really eager to join them.
Fair enough. Well, it's not the Saturday show anymore, is it? It's the career show. But no, alhamdulillah. I think that was actually quite cool talking about this. But of course, we're talking about Bangladesh soon, because we're going to go into a short video, which I chose. But when was the last time you visited Bangladesh?
Oh, it's been way too long, but I'm going soon. I'm going in next December.
Okay, that's soon. I mean, technically, prices are really high right now, so yeah, it's better to book soon. I'm going in January, and let's go watch a short clip of Rangamati. Oh my god, it's something awesome. And that was a video of Rangamati, of course. I think I've got a cough there. But of course, we are going to Bangladesh, inshallah. I mean, me and my sister, we meaning my sister, of course. But inshallah, we're going in January, and I do plan on going to Rangamati soon. I haven't been before, so I wonder what it's like. But seeing that video clip, I do realise that it actually might be pretty cool. Because the thing is as well, when you're visiting from the UK, you've got this whole perspective of, oh, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. Sometimes you see the news and you're just like, oh, it's a bit scary. But it's actually not that bad. I mean, I went in October, so we'll see, we'll find out. But of course, moving on for this segment, we do have the film review. And we welcome back again Tasnim. So, what are the 3 films you have for this segment?
So today we've got Wicked,
Okay.
of course, the
yes.
big one.
It's all over my Instagram page. The interviews are too funny. But carry on.
We'll get onto that. We've got Moana 2,
Okay.
and we've also got Gladiator 2.
Right, okay. Let's start with Wicked.
Yeah, so Wicked is the big movie of the year. It is starring Cynthia and Ariana Grande.
Yes, of course. Who doesn't know her?
Of course. And it is all over my social media at the moment. All their interviews are absolutely hilarious because they're crying in every single interview.
Yeah, what's that about?
So Wicked is it's a very big musical.
Right.
And for 2 actors and for 2 people who have dabbled in musical theatre before, this role of Elphaba and this role for them is transformational for them. So I guess that's why it's been an emotional journey. But Wicked, the movie, it's basic, which is like the pink, is Ariana Grande's character.
Yeah.
They go to university together, and
Oh.
it's about their friendships that were happening in society, and that's why she sort of let herself be the scapegoat in order to be a spokesperson for all the people who were like marginalized.
Okay, interesting. So why do they keep crying in the interviews then?
So yeah, they keep crying just because Wicked is like, it's literally the musical theatre show. It's the
It just feels like another Barbie thing all over again. Like it's
it
like,
kind
you know, when
of is.
I see it because it's like everyone used to wear pink and now
Yeah,
it's these interviews.
I see people dressing up as the Wicked Witch and Glinda. Like when I went to see it in the cinema, there were people dressed in green and pink. It was interesting.
Yeah, that could never be me. Anyways, moving
Yeah.
on, of course, we have Moana 2. So what's this movie about?
So Moana 2 is sequel to the original Moana, of course, and it's all about Moana and Maui, of course, with their fun little sidekicks. And it's about Moana trying to reconnect or like connect more with her ancestors. And so she's trying to find this lost island.
Right.
And she's and Maui is basically beefing this one witch.
There's another witch here.
Yeah, and this like witch can speak to this god Nolu, and this witch, and along with this god, has basically kidnapped Maui, and
Okay.
it's up to Moana to save Maui and also find this island on the way. So it's all about family and heritage and sort of connecting to your own history, and also of course friendship and there's fun little tricks that Nolu and the witch do on the way, which are interesting.
And do you think that was a good watch?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's a
enjoyed it.
really lovely watch to watch with your family because Moana is very close to her sister and her parents in the movie.
Oh, that's something I can relate to. Anyways, unless I fight with my sister, but that's a different topic. So, of course, the final movie was Gladiator 2. I think it was 2, yes. So what's this movie about?
So this is, it's based on history, and it's a sequel to the original movie. So Marcus Aurelius is dead now. That happened in the first movie. Spoilers, but he's dead now, and it's all about the massive battle between like the Rome. There's 2 dictators on the throne right now in Rome, and with the son of the original main character in Gladiator 1, and it's all about his role and how he like sees the injustices happening in Rome and then decides to fight to try get Rome back.
Okay, fine. And I mean, is this a movie that's in the cinemas at the moment? Okay, fine, fair enough.
Yeah, and it's starring Paul Mescal, who's
Haven't-
he's an up and coming Irish actor,
Okay.
and he does a phenomenal performance in this movie.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm really bad with names. I feel like someone could tell me an actor's name and I wouldn't have a clue. But if you show me a face, I will know them, definitely. But of course, so how would you rate the movies that out of a 10? What about, so let's start with Wicked. How much would you rate that out of a 10?
So Wicked, only half of it has come out.
Wait, what?
It's a two-part.
Sorry, what do you mean?
It's a two-part installment, and the
Right.
first part is like 2.5 hours. So if you are someone who just wants to watch a movie for fun, like after work or something with your
Right.
family, I don't think Wicked is
Because there's no
the
ending
movie
to
for
it.
you. Well, it ends at a place, but then there is clearly a cliffhanger that needs to be
Right.
continued.
Okay.
Just because the story is so big. So I think it's a good homage to the original theatre if you're a massive fan of Wicked.
Okay.
And I do think it's a good representation of like the broader themes of injustice and racism.
Okay, fair
Racism
enough.
against the Green Witch, of course. But I do think it's a watch if you want to explore something like that. But I wouldn't recommend it if you just want to relax with a good movie because it is long.
Okay, fair enough. And what about Moana 2?
So what I would recommend is Moana 2 if you just wanted to watch a movie after work with the kids or something like that.
Kids, I don't have kids.
Because Moana 2, it's light-hearted, it's jovial, it's heartwarming, and it's about family. What more could you want?
Of course. And Gladiator 2? Yeah, 2.
So I think Gladiator 2 will make more sense if you just generally know about the history of like ancient Rome and stuff. And I do think it doesn't necessarily tie in with a lot of. It has a very certain specific audience. But if you're into ancient Roman history and if you're just into like big blockbuster action movies like that, then I think you should give it a watch.
Okay, perfect. And they're all in the cinemas then at the moment. Great,
Right
perfect.
now.
So what would you tell our viewers today? Would you tell them to go watch it or
Well, yeah, I think if I were to recommend one movie for
any ages?
for everyone,
Yeah.
I think most people would enjoy Moana too.
Okay, Moana 2 it is then, guys. See you at the cinemas. But thank you so much, Tassim, for being on the show today. I really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
And of course, inshallah, I will see you on the next show, which is again on the 7th of December. So stay tuned. Inshallah, see you then. Thank you, Tassim. Right, so that was, of course, the Saturday show. Of course, we had Yasmin Hussain, who shared her journey into sports as well as, being a coach. And just that sometimes things happen for a reason. And if it does happen, don't fret. Things happen, life happens. Find another way to get into what you want to do. Don't give up. And of course, we then had a recipe, mishti doi, what? It's a dessert that I will be making, inshallah, soon. And I will make my mum do it probably because I'm too lazy. And of course, for this segment, the second segment, we had Tasnim, who of course shared her great insight into UCAS applications. And we spoke about CVs. And we had our 3 films, Wicked, Moana 2, and what was the third one? Gladiator 2. But of course, for the next show, do join us on the 7th of December, inshallah. And of course, if you do have any feedback you want to share with us, do reach out to us on our social media pages. Thank you, and inshallah, see you soon. Allah Hafiz.